Hi, boys and girls, and welcome to Good Children Reads, where good children read. My name is Julie, and today we're going to be reading another Pete the Cat book, one of my favorite series, and I hope it's one of your favorites too. At the end of the story, we will be playing our memory game, and I'll be asking you 3 questions to see if you remember what happened in the story. So let's go ahead and get started. Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues by Kimberly and James Dean. And here you can see that Pete the Cat is wearing a lot of different kinds of pajamas. I think these are his pajamas. There's one where he's wearing a dinosaur onesie and he has his dinosaur toys around him. Do you spot that one? There's also a yellow pajama set that looks almost like a clown outfit, complete with a nightcap and some pom-poms on his nightshirt. And there's one that says, "I love my truck." There's also even one that says Super Cat and he's wearing a cape. And there are a few more. They're all so fun. Different pajamas that Pete the Cat wears for bedtime. Pete and the gang had a great day. They'd been at the beach, surf and sun and tons of fun. But when the sun went down, they didn't want the fun to end. Pete had an idea. Ding! You can see the light bulb going off in his head. Hey, how about a sleepover? More time for tons of fun. Groovy! Pete's place. Let's go! The party was far out, but they knew they couldn't stay up all night. You can see they're having so much fun. The alligator has a soccer ball, the platypus is riding a tricycle, Pete the Cat is coloring and drawing, and Grumpy Toad has a car that looks like it could be remote controlled. There's also some pizza and a drum set. The gang decided it was time to say goodnight. Look how sad they look. On went the pajamas and out went the light. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete was just about to catch some Z's when... Clap, clap, clap. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Grumpy Toad. I don't want to go to bed. I want to clap instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Time to sleep. Pete tried to catch some Z's when... Rat-a-tat-tat. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Gus the platypus. I don't want to go to bed. I want to jam instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Time to sleep. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete closed his eyes to catch some Z's when he heard munch, munch, munch. Pete had a hunch. It was Alligator. He was always up for eating. What could Pete do? And it looks like Alligator's eating some hot pizza. Pepperoni pizza, to be exact. Doesn't that look good? All the clapping, rat-a-tat-tatting, and munching was giving him the bedtime blues. Pete had a groovy idea. He got out his favorite bedtime story and started to read, first to himself and then to the gang. Hey, that's kind of like what we're doing, reading a Pete the Cat story. And it looks like Pete the Cat's favorite story is Pete the Cat and 10 Little Monsters. And all of them seem to be enjoying the story very much. Pete noticed it was finally quiet. No more clapping, no more rat-a-tat-tatting. and no more munching. They all settled down. No one made a sound. Pete yawned and turned off the light. Good night. Sleep tight. Time to catch some Z's. And you can see each of them has their eyes closed now. And did you notice how they're all wearing different kinds of pajamas? Grumpy Toad is wearing an American flag nightcap and some striped orange and yellow pajamas. Gus the Platypus is wearing a baseball cap to sleep and some blue pajamas, and Alligator is wearing an inverted polka dot teal and red pajama set, and Pete's wearing a striped blue and white pajama set. And look at all of the cars or buses on Pete's blanket. Tomorrow was another day for surfing, sun, and tons of fun. And if you look at the pictures, it looks like they're all having the same dream of surfing in the sun and tons of fun. The end. That was a fun little story. Have you ever experienced a sleepover where it's really hard to go to sleep because you want to continue having so much fun? I know the feeling too. So why don't we play that memory game? I'll ask you 3 questions and let's see if you can get all of them right. So the first question, do you remember what Grumpy Toad did that kept Pete awake? He clapped. He wanted to clap instead of going to bed. The second question, what sound did Gus the Platypus make that kept Pete the cat awake? The sound was rat-a-tat-tat because Gus wanted to jam on his drums. Third and final question, what sound was Alligator making? What was he doing that prevented Pete the cat from going to sleep? The sound was munch, 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 because he was eating a hot pepperoni pizza. Yum. Thank you for taking the time to join me today in reading another fun Pete the Cat story. I hope you enjoyed Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues, and I will see you next time. Bye!